I'm gonna get off headset too. I'm gonna plug it into the computer. Somebody, you can hear me through the stuff. Somatic, wake up. Great. Okay. This is JayTechTV. You already know the Flamer PlayStation. We have a lot of topics to cover. I'm gonna get Sam started.
Ranner.
Sam, you can do your intro, and then Somatic can do his intro. We might have some.
Oh yeah, Boga Loga 320 back for another round of debauchery in the video game world. Have at it, boys.
Hookah. Somatic, go give your intro. Is he here?
I think that was his intro.
Okay, that was Somatic's intro. Sam, I'm about to go make sure people know that we're starting. So I guess what we're gonna do is I'm gonna hop on Dreams real quick and just post something and just let them know that we're starting. First topic. Sam, Nintendo Switch sold 32 million units in less than 2 years' time.
That's Somatic's phone.
I think that's Somatic's phone.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure they kidnapped him again. Yeah, they kidnapped him. Yeah. Fucking God. Okay, so Sam, what about the Nintendo Switch selling 32 million within 2 years? Thoughts?
Yeah, so theirs it was a ship. So you got to figure the sold was probably more than 1 million. It wasn't just like what they say 500,000. I think it was the gap was bigger. It was just a decent amount size gap between the worldwide sales.
Very, very shocked because our last update was fucking 20 million. So I'm very surprised at what they were able to achieve. So congratulations to them.
Because they ended up losing December.
Yeah, they lost.
And pretty much MPD the whole year, I think, right?
I thought they won December in the United States.
No, they finished third.
Nintendo?
No, PlayStation.
Yeah. PlayStation finished third. Nintendo was first. Xbox was second. And I say this all the time. It's happened in 2013 also. They sold through all their shipments, PlayStation, and the month of November due to Black Friday. And then they don't have enough to sell good in December. It's not a bad thing if you've been winning all year, but hopefully they can start changing that shit around. Because December is a pretty important time to sell. And if they would have had more units shipped over in the United States for December, their outcome could have been a lot bigger.
You're definitely going to have a price cut by this time next year.
Oh, definitely.
At some point.
What do you mean? I mean, we're already in next year. So this year, I expect a price cut. This year, 2019.
I'm saying by the time the whole year finishes and you have the totals, you know what I mean? Like you're going to have all that data already inputted.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
What's going on, fellas?
What's going on, man?
Not much. Please forgive me for being late. I was running a couple of hot laps on GT Sport in VR. I was trying to smash a couple of lap records that I set. So got carried away trying to break those records. So please forgive my tardiness.
It's all right. We got a lot of titles. Fuck, I said titles. We got a lot of topics to talk about.
I don't know how long you plan on making this podcast, but I'll probably have to split, say, in about an hour and a half, so I can go pick up some wings. So
that's how long we're gonna be here. We're gonna try to run through this shit because I know everybody's busy today.
That works out perfect.
We were just finishing the first topic of Nintendo selling 32 million worldwide in less than 2 years. What's your thoughts on that?
I think that's pretty good, but I think when we looked at some of the numbers that the PlayStation had, once the PlayStation hit its stride, I think they were selling anywhere from 16 to 19 million on any given year.
Yeah, and
the last 2 years they've gone down year over year, right?
I mean, the way things have been looking lately, I think even when like these last few years, I think even if the numbers have been on a decline, they've still been hitting about 16 million.
Because they got 17
million.
Yeah,
they set the standard so high.
Yeah. And I will say, I think they're shocked by all of this, that they're still selling so good. They're still making so much money. And there's no drop off. But once again, when the competition is weak and you're the only supplier for great quality games, you should expect a huge increase in popularity and sales and subscription numbers.
When did they drop it to 300? Like 3 years ago? 2.5 years ago? I don't even remember.
About a year and a half ago. Yeah.
A year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
For PlayStation, the basic one in the Slim, which was awesome. I'm glad they did that.
But the Nintendo Switch is a different kind of demographic. They've got some super loyal fans. So I think all things considered, I think what they're doing is phenomenal.
Oh yeah, definitely. Since we're talking about Nintendo, there's two topics that feed into one. One's going to feed into Nintendo, and then the other one's going to feed into Xbox, and then we are going to start our PlayStation Network and the sales that we got from that. So what are your thoughts? Because we're seeing right here, this is I wanted to share some of this stuff with you guys. If you don't mind, I'm going to share the screen real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing is believing. Seeing is believing.
Ice Queen Gaming and PlayStation Gold, otherwise known as Ian. How are you guys doing?
What, up there in there?
Yeah, they're in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this was the one I wanted to talk about. A PlayStation Network alone just made more money for Sony compared to everything Nintendo and Xbox made in 2018. That right there. Not PS4, not software. PlayStation Network made that much money. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. And I really did not realize the magnitude of that situation until that headline came out, because I covered this earlier, what Sony has accomplished. But when you stop and think about it, like, it really hit me after I saw the title, because when you stop and think about it, Sony trying to take every dollar in your pocket with those flash sales. I mean, you go in there with the intentions of maybe only spending $20, but you end up leaving spending about 80.
I will say the flash sales have been. What was the best one we had? It wasn't last year. Was that one that hit everybody in 2017? Y'all remember that one that, like, there was everything.
Around E3?
Yes, it was around E3 in 2017, and it was just good. I think ever since 2017, they really learned how to keep that shit going. And they got great sales, great advertisements. I think they could do a little bit better on advertisements, like maybe televise an advertisement. Once in a blue moon, just advertise on TV that this weekend everything's half off.
Why don't they just give us notifications? You get something like redeem this or this is happening. Why don't you straight up just give us some notifications?
Yeah, that'd be nice too.
Even if you don't care, just be like, well, this is our new release, so we want to make sure everybody knows about it, just in case you do give a crap.
Yeah, and I think like those flash sales, because see, the Xbox store does not have sales the way the PlayStation store does. There's something on sale every single week at the PlayStation store, whether it's a flash sale, whether it's a developer sale, whatever the theme is, there's always a sale at the PlayStation store. And you gotta check them out, because there's always going to be at least one game that captures your interest. And
yeah, it's funny linking, since you mentioned that, because they act like they pretty much have more sales on Xbox's side, but that's not the case, son.
No, I've heard that rhetoric before. I mean, they always look for victory anywhere they can get it. in the subscriptions is where they try to say, well, you know, the PlayStation, there's 90 million PlayStations out there, but only 37 million on PlayStation Plus. That's because PlayStation, for one thing, Sony doesn't put you in a position where it's mandatory that you have PlayStation Plus in order to have fun on the console. There are still free-to-play games that are multiplayer that do not require PlayStation Plus in order for you to play them. You know,
shit, Lincoln. Keep talking.
You know, and I'm referring to games. Yeah, I'm referring to games like Fortnite, Warframe, America's Armies, Proving Ground. Those are games that are free to play. They are also multiplayer and don't require you to have PlayStation Plus in order to play them. So, you know, I'm speechless at this point. I mean, it's been an amazing ride this generation.
Because I saw Larry Herd promoting Fortnite, and I'm like, you're kind of advertising the fact that you guys are the only one who still has a paywall behind free to play.
That was Larry. That was Larry.
I saw the comment section. Dude, you can't make this shit up. Like, these executives have no clue sometimes. I'm like, you realize you just told on yourself, essentially. Even Nintendo Switch doesn't even bring up the paywall of free to play games.
Thank you, Lincoln. You reminded me about something, but this is farther down. And you sure it was him, or was it him?
No, that was him. That was him.
So he was the one with that. Sure it was him. I thought it was Aaron Greenberg.
No, he did the sock thing. That was Crackdown or whatever.
Okay, let me go and see, because I think you're right. It was him, right? So that must have been. When did he post that shit, man?
Had to have been like less than 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Play with your friends this weekend. Larry Herb, play Fortnite with friends. Okay, this is what we wanted to look at, guys. Okay, Lincoln, thank you for reminding me. It was on the list. I already sent it to everybody about the topics. But yes, Fortnite is free to play on PC, PS4, and Nintendo Switch. You do not need anybody's online connection subscription service to play Fortnite or enjoy it. You don't need it. For them to say this, like Sam said, you just snitched on yourself, and a lot of people called them out for this. Fortnite is free. You're telling them that they can play for 3 fucking days of the weekend, and then after that, you can't play it no more because you need Xbox Live Gold? That's bullshit, man. There's not enough people calling them out on that shit.
I don't get why they've reversed all the other policies, but this one still stands. It's just really weird to me.
I think something else could possibly happen tomorrow. It could cause a little bit of a seismic shift as far as this free-to-play narrative goes, because this stealth Titanfall Battle Royale game, where was that on your list of things to talk about, Jay?
It wasn't, because I didn't see a trailer and I didn't get any real verification. But who makes that? It's Respawn, right?
I'm not sure, but what I do know about it is they're calling it a Titanfall Battle Royale type of game. But the catch is that there's no mechs in this game and there's no wall jumping in this game. I guess, you know, the video that I saw, they are describing it as a cross between Black Ops 4 and Rainbow Six Siege, but it is a battle royale game and it is free to play. Now this game is going to probably get a lot of traffic on the PlayStation, being that you won't be required to have PlayStation Plus to play this game online.
I see. You're right. And I'm on their website right now, and I'm not seeing anything for the Edge of January.
No,
it's supposed to be a stealth launch. It's supposed to be coming out tomorrow through a stealth launch. That they haven't advertised it or anything.
This is impressive. It's smart, because you don't want everybody to know that shit's coming, because everybody's gonna jump over there and crash the servers. So, yeah, pretty fucking smart. Pretty fucking smart.
I don't know if you saw the Jason Schreier post, Jay, but he was talking about that they basically pushed Titanfall 3 back because of this, and that they're most likely using another engine.
For Titanfall, or for
because they wanted Titanfall 3 to be out by this point, but they decided to release this free to play, whatever it is, and then just push that back.
Yeah, because this free to play will get people hyped for Titanfall 3. So yeah, that's smart. That's smart. Give somebody something for free, and they'll be talking about it for a long time.
Not to mention, this would be an area where they could slip their microtransactions in, and people probably won't get mad because the game was free to play. And if they do make a ton of money off of these microtransactions, that could set the tone for EA to maybe start releasing more free to play games in the future and stop trying to crack people's head open with that $60 initiation fee and then get hit with microtransactions right after.
That's crazy, man. I've been hearing a lot about that. I gotta go to the doctor's tomorrow, but I should be back by 12, hopefully. And when I get back, I'm gonna be all over the internet, and all over the PSN trying to look for a lot of that shit. But long story short, we go to the next topic that fed into the first one about the PlayStation Network, and it is as followed. I'm just hold on one second. I just want to make sure we get the right one. That was not the right one. We want to make sure we get the right one. PlayStation Now. I wanted to get the one about
I saw that. I never saw exact numbers provided.
Yeah, no. That's why I want to make sure I get the right article. I want to give anybody any false information. Shit. This isn't. We had info for PlayStation Now, right? Let's just say it came from let's say it came from DualShockers. But I wanted to I cover it. Let's see. PlayStation Network. Oh shit, that's not in there. They said PlayStation Now made more money than Game Pass. That's what we're here to talk about. So thoughts on that? Because Game Pass is the one that's more hyped up, is the one that's more celebrated. Everyone's talking about Game Pass. For PlayStation Now to make more money than Game Pass, even though we know why, it's still pretty fucking crazy when we would think that every Xbox owner has Game Pass after it was given away for $1 last year.
Yo, their fans are basically like working like marketers, man. I had a student in the Twitch chat basically try to sell me on it. Like, you could play Gears 5 day one, you could do this day one. I'm like, I mean, all I did was ask about it, and you got people just trying to sell me on it. I'm sure it's a great service, but like you said, it's not surpassing PlayStation, and it's kind of just a word of mouth thing at this point. It's not as successful as everybody makes it out to be, but it's doing decent. It's a good start.
But I think there's a few variables that heavily tip the scales in Sony's favor as far as PlayStation Now goes. Because for one thing, with PlayStation Now, you have over 400 games to choose from with a ton of PlayStation exclusives in there. Whereas Game Pass, I noticed that 100 games seems to be the target. They stay at 100 games. They add five new games. They remove 5 games, so it doesn't really go over 100. And then, not to mention that Game Pass is filled to me with a lot of indie games and a lot of 360 games, and not a lot of I don't know. I don't think it's got a lot of games from this generation. At least not compelling games, and definitely not any Microsoft exclusives. So I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the success of PlayStation Now comes from the PlayStation exclusives that they have in that library.
I'm confused, bro. Didn't we get information?
Yeah, they got a lot of good franchises.
We got information days ago that PS Now sold more than Game Pass. I can't find any articles of that.
Yeah, I didn't see any specific numbers.
That'd be the case. I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned they rotate them in and out just to basically hover around 100, right, Lincoln?
Yeah, I mean, because I've noticed that nobody's talking about that, but I've noticed that it's like every time I see an article, because I would, read a lot of articles from N4G, and every time they would talk about what new games are being added to Game Pass, they would also let you know what games were being removed. And then if you wanted to come back and buy those games that were removed from the library, you could buy them at a discounted rate.
Something's not right.
So they're operating like on the little balancing budget with that little Game Pass thing, then.
Yeah, I would say so. So I think Microsoft they're gonna have to do some work, and add more games to the Game Pass library and not remove them. And even with these developers that they picked up, which as far as I'm concerned are a bunch of bootleg developers that were called in to develop bootleg games for Game Pass, how long is it going to take before they give you an attractive looking library?
I got people telling me it's $1 a month. That's not the permanent price, is it?
No, those are just promos.
Yeah.
Those are just people champion for the service, because when you see something that says $1 a month, it might only be for 1 month, 2 months, whatever the case may be, but for the most part, the base price is $10 a month, I believe, for Game Pass.
I figured, man, this dude was trying to be slick with me. I'm like, you're telling me it's $12 a year forever, and then he just didn't say anything to me. I'm like, you want me to pay?
He tried to slick you. That's just an Xbot trying to win an argument.
And then they it hit me up with $20 a month at some point when it automatically recurs. Like, I'm used to that. I own the Xbox, but I'm like, it can't be $12 a year and make a profit on it.
Don't get me wrong. PlayStation Now is $20 a month, but they have a lot of promos where you can get 3 months for $30 or what have you. So if you can catch those promos at $10 a month, okay, I mean, it's still a much better value.
I found it. I was saying
so much more games.
I was saying this shit wrong. I was pronouncing it wrong. So the key word is not sold more. It generated more. So PlayStation Now generated more revenue in 2018 than Xbox Game Pass and Origin Access. But this is what happened last year anyway. Remember, we got an update last year, somewhere in the middle, that PlayStation Now was making a lot of money, and it was it was doing very good, much better than Game Pass. But for the whole 2018, PlayStation Now generated more money than Game Pass and EA Access. That is fucking huge. That is fucking huge.
Wow. So we got PlayStation Now generating more money than Game Pass and Origin Access, and we've got the PlayStation Network generating more money than Nintendo in the Xbox gaming division. Wow, this is phenomenal.
It is phenomenal, because everybody was wondering, when is next gen going to start? Whoever starts it, they got to have enough money to make these new next generation consoles without, losing too much money. Sony's clearly made enough money to make a shitload of PS5s for the launch year. For the whole 12 months of the first next generation, I think they can do it. They can do it. They got enough money to put a good investment inside of the PS5. We got these other topics we got to cover. I'm sorry that I didn't have the shit ready. I have it ready, but PS5 compatibility. We're talking about
segue into backwards compatibility.
Yes, right there, because with all of this money Sony made, and then they're getting smart and they're looking for this method. They're claiming they have a method where what is it? They said Sony patents backwards compatibility for PS5. Bro, that's big news. It's not going to be no crazy, you can play PS4 games on it. Nah, bro. I think they're going for the whole library of PlayStation games. PS1, maybe PSP, maybe PS Vita, maybe
please be the Vita.
PS2, everything.
I don't want to buy a PS2
because I think PlayStation Now is going to transform into what we wanted it to be. What was the code name for it when they brought the company? They had
when they acquired Gaikai?
Yeah.
I forgot.
It was Gaikai. Well, that's what they used to call it, Gaikai.
No, that's the company's name.
Yeah, I know, but it was like it was a name. They kept hyping up Gaikai that they was gonna have all of this internet shit for it, and it's making a profit. PlayStation Now was, a lot of people didn't think it was gonna get this far. They started taking it off the TVs. They took it off the cell phones. They took it off PS Vita, and they just kept it on PC and PS4. And I think that's a good thing that they did, because you see they're making a lot of money, and we don't know if the majority of the money is coming from PS4 or PC, but I bet my money is PS4.
And people are speculating that the money that Sony is generating from PlayStation Now, as well as the PlayStation Network, that it would be able to subsidize the PS5, and that would allow Sony to be able to sell the console at $400 versus the $500 that everybody's speculating.
That shit's gonna be crazy.
You think they're gonna have us, or we can play the disc we own, or it's just gonna be digital emulation only with the backwards compatibility?
I think it's gonna be digital emulation, but they're definitely gonna have physical emulation with PS4. And look, if we're lucky, we get PS3. However, I think they're focusing on and they're aiming at something for PS1 and 2 because it should be easy, right? The technology is a lot cheaper. So if you can find a way to emulate that shit, that would be awesome. I mean, I'm just gonna say, bro, one of the major reasons why PS1 was so good is because everything you could do with disc. You could put your music disc in there and listen to music. Then with the PS2, you could do that with DVDs. But backwards compatible, huh?
Taking me back to them days. Now, I remember the DVD thing was huge. Exactly, dude.
But PS2 had backwards compatibility. DVD was there, but you also had backwards compatibility. Then when the big boy $600 PS3 came out, full backwards compatibility with 2 previous generations of console games. It was amazing. As we already know, PS3 was outselling the 360 at its same time period. It was amazing. And that's one of the main reasons. So I think they can do it. Okay. We're talking about, we were joking about maybe they're going to take something off of Microsoft, but they had it. Remember, they had the technology to do it with 2 generations of backwards compatibility on the PS3. The only generation that will probably be hard for them to do is PS3. They had PS1 and PS2 backwards compatibility down pack. It's a no-brainer that they already know how to do it with the PS4. PS3 is the one. What do you think?
I was saying it the whole gen, like, why couldn't we at least play the digital titles? Hopefully they found a solution to that.
Yeah, hopefully.
Because I get physical because of the cell, but digitally, if I own a game digitally and it's on PS3, there's no reason I shouldn't have been able to play it on PS4. I never understood that.
Right. Sad thing is I want physical because there are games like Folklore that were never made digital so far that I know, and the only way to play that game is to get it physical. So later this year, I think I'm going to start buying some older games just to see. Now, I already have a PS2 Slim, so I can play PS1 and PS2 games anyway. It's right on top of my PS4. PS3 would be the only one. Like I said, that's the problem child right there. That's the problem child for backwards compatibility. So when they say backwards compatibility, I think they found a way to allow people to play PS3 titles. And that's amazing.
Good. And some of the PS3 titles had 3D compatibility. I remember Lincoln mentioned it last week. You can use that with the VR. So if that was backwards compatible, I could play Uncharted 3 on the PS5 with my VR headset. That'd be pretty cool, man.
That would be amazing.
If you could do what?
Because some of the PS3 games had 3D compatibility, and you mentioned you can use that on when you have the VR headset. So if you could use that on the PS5, because it's going to be forward compatible with the PSVR, then you can pretty much utilize that as well.
I think the way it would look, rather than be in 360 degrees, I think it probably would end up looking like watching a movie in 3D, where you have a huge screen and stuff is coming out at you. That is my guess, but if they still implemented something like that, that would be huge.
Yeah, I've never tried that functionality. I've never had a 3D TV. That'd be useful.
Me neither, but Sony did have a 3D TV last generation. That what was slick about it was this TV came with 2 pairs of 3D glasses, and if you were playing a game, rather than playing split screen, if you put on the glasses that was player 2 split glasses, you would only see a player 2 screen, and player 1 would only see the player 1 screen, even though they're sharing the same TV. It wouldn't be a split screen. So basically, whichever set of glasses you were wearing would give you a full screen for that player, player 1, player 2. I thought that was pretty slick.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So like one time I was playing Moto Storm with somebody, and they were wearing the player 1 glasses. So when I put on the player 2 glasses, I saw the environment in the car that I was driving and it wasn't a split screen. I had a whole screen, the whole TV to myself, which I thought was pretty amazing.
Wow.
Sony has done some amazing things low key that people don't know about.
Yeah.
And, the PS3 was a 3D player, and the PS4 is a 3D player, because with the PlayStation VR, you can play 3D movies on the PlayStation 4 and watch them with the PSVR headset, and it would be like being at the theater watching a 3D movie. So it would look like you got a huge 80-foot screen and stuff coming out of the screen at you as if you were at a movie watching a 3D movie. So that's pretty slick. That's something that people don't know about. You can also download You can also download VR content onto a flash drive, and use one of the apps on the PS4 so you can watch that content in VR.
Yeah, that's what I need to start doing.
Okay.
True that.
We got a segue because you talking about the great things Sony has done last gen. Let's talk about the bad things Microsoft done last gen. Red Ring of motherfucking death. We're segueing into the new Red Ring of Death. We called it the black screen of death a couple days ago, last week, when if you had your Xbox connected to online, you fucked up. Microsoft fucked up. I hear they had an update that didn't go right, and if your Xbox was connected in any way online, when you tried to turn it on, all you saw was a black screen. Now, let me make sure that you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. You guys are seeing what I'm seeing. Okay, good. This is what some people were seeing. They say next you will sign into your Microsoft account. So they sign you out. It was a black screen. Some people were lucky enough to see that. Other people were seeing black screens, literally. I'm going to scroll down because, again, seeing is believing. This is what they were seeing, black screens. This was a big deal. And Xbox Live has been down a lot, but not like this. There was never something like that went down. So we go back to DRM. Xbox fans forgot about it, or they wanted us to forget that it was bad. DRM is bad. Microsoft fans, Xbox fans, the executive, they all wanted you to stop thinking about DRM, but it's been there inside the Xbox the whole time. This proves it. This proves it.
I could have sworn they said they fixed that, though.
They fixed it, but they
just lied about it.
With my Xbox, like yesterday, I was getting some like flickering. It would go black. The screen would go black for a half a second, and then I would get it back. That would happen periodically. But as far as this flat out black screen goes, I think I probably dodged the bullet. Maybe that was God talking to me.
I think that was Wednesday. Let me see. They January 30th. So what about Thursday? Thursday.
It was down for like 3 days this week.
Yeah, because I'm showing you right now, like there was a lot. Yeah, it was January 30th. Let me go get that date just to be 100% sure.
I think I dodged that bullet because I think last week I barely used my Xbox. I only use it to watch YouTube because it's in my bedroom. So I use it to watch YouTube before I go to bed, but I didn't watch that much of YouTube last week. So I think that's how I dodged the bullet. I was like, I play games on my PlayStation and then went straight to bed and didn't even turn my Xbox on.
This is what people were seeing. This was January 30th, last Wednesday. And a lot of people were complaining about it. A lot of people. That's just the pictures people were
So Lincoln,
doing.
if you just turn off your router, you try to start your Xbox, you would still have that issue, basically?
Beg your pardon?
Like if you just shut off your router and you just turn on your Xbox like a normal console, you still wouldn't be able to play it online?
I have.
Yeah, because I think they fixed it.
I have no idea because this black screen stuff, what I'm saying is the reason why I was able to avoid it is because I wasn't using my Xbox during the time that this was going on.
Yeah, a lot of people from celebrities and onwards, they were talking about it, and it was crazy. It was crazy. Now, from what I understand, no Xbox was permanently damaged, but this was connected to an online update for the Xbox. And they just didn't roll it out right. It was no individual third-party developer's fault. It was a Microsoft problem. But once again, This is why PlayStation gamers used to tease Xbox fans all the time. When the generation started, we could open our box, plug it into the TV, and play our games. On Xbox, you couldn't do that because of the DRM. You know, it's a scary thing. Very, very scary.
No, yeah, people thinking the consoles are bricked, man. That was almost a serious thing.
Yeah. Okay, we have. I need you guys to talk about a topic. I'm gonna type another topic in so we can keep this moving. Let's see who we're gonna pick. Epic Games Store versus Steam Store. Certain people are getting exclusive games, and certain people are just not getting that game on their store anymore. Prime example, Metro Exodus. Sam, take it away, because I like what you said before the podcast. That shit was funny.
Okay, I don't remember what I said, but I'm just going to say what I'm thinking.
I mean, the developer is not going to put their next Metro game on the PC if they boycott the new one.
Because I still think it's going to sell the best on PS4, like by a lot. I'm guessing whenever, when it drops on the 15th, right, of February. But I see a lot of Steam people pissed off, like really butthurt, like as if they just own the right to it. And from what I've read, if you pre-ordered it on Steam, you're still going to get it day one. So it's not like you've been given the shaft if you pre-ordered it. And it's only like, what, a couple months of exclusivity on Epic. So I still don't see what the big deal is. These freaking PC nerds are mad as hell over bullshit. But it's your fault, man. Steam's been ripping people off for a while. And it's about time all these other companies kind of took a stand against it. Because why are you going to give money to Steam? It's your game, own your own property. You might as well make the most you can off your own product. And Steam's acting like a bunch of brats at this point.
Yeah, let me add something to this. Also, with the based on what I've heard, I think that people who pre-ordered Metro on Steam, they're gonna honor it. But I think it seems like I heard something somewhere that you might get a code for the game to the Epic Store. I'm not sure if now, so don't quote me on that. But I do also want to add a little bit of a tidbit in there that I believe it is Metro Exodus for the Xbox in India has been canceled.
Ooh. Oh, snap. All right.
Shit. Okay.
So
I wonder what led to that decision.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously, Xbox doesn't make an impact worldwide.
Yeah.
So, it made no mention about the PS4 version being canceled, just the Xbox version in India being canceled. Now, as far as people getting upset about Metro going to the Xbox store for, time exclusive or whatever, I don't have a problem with it because the PC guys always scream this. And I talked about this earlier. The PC guys are always screaming this master race shit. They sit there laughing at this so-called bloody console war going on between, PlayStation and Xbox people. They're sitting there laughing, and stuff like that. But they may not be laughing a couple of years from now because we could possibly have a full-blown civil war within the PC community if the Epic Store blows up big enough where they have to force people to choose which service they want to go with.
I think it could be sooner than that this year.
Yeah, man.
Where they might be fighting with each other over who has the better service. So, now I think the PC people hollering this master race shit, they got their own problem now. And like I said, this could be a full-blown PC civil war, 3-4 years from now.
I'm going to say it right now. The younger generation, and I've talked to a lot of the PC community, talked to a lot of them all last year. The younger generation is still on Steam. It seems like the more mature, real gamers are moving over to Epic. And they moved over pretty fucking fast. So I'm not saying everybody moved over, but I think the mature ones moved over.
Well, you already have two major games with the Division 2 and Metro moving over to Epic. And I'm sure it's going to be more where that came from because Epic is probably the shit. They might be demonstrating a pattern where they may try to undercut every highly anticipated third-party title that's coming out, especially with the 88-12 split that they're offering to developers, and they're selling the game at $50 pre-order.
Well, you already know right now, that's enough to kill Steam right fucking now. That right there, the split was enough. But I didn't know that if you pre-order a game, you get it for $50 on Epic. That's good. That's a good deal.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good deal.
Yeah, they're going out of the way, man.
Yeah, so they're gonna try to undercut the shit out of Steam. And see, I don't even have a gaming PC, so I'm not even really involved in any of this stuff. But I mean, I will be buying a gaming PC probably next month because I don't want to go through the hassle of trying to build one and make sure all the shit is compatible with blah blah blah. But I think, like I said, I think you could have a full-blown civil war on your hands in a few years.
Yeah. But see, this, like I said, the Steam is for the younger generation because they like those deals. They like getting very super cheap indie games for super cheap. And Epic that's where the AAA games are. And what's funny is, from the knowledge that I know, and Sam knows it too because he watched those stupid debates, they don't really like to buy the AAA games day one. So I don't know why they're bothered by it anyway. Now the fact
those kids trying to defend putting people out of business. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy it years later. Like,
yeah, they
understand
told
what you're
us
saying?
that they're not buying it because their favorite YouTuber won't do a review for it, or they just give a dumb excuse why they don't want to buy the game day one. Now, I understand if you come to me and say, well, I'm on the younger side, I don't have a job. That's cool. But don't make some lame ass excuse that 40 other individuals have told me personally. What was one of the excuses, man? Because they're pretty stupid. Like,
Yeah, man, they go into it like, they're like preaching like, oh, we don't do this for a specific reason, so we don't want the trickle down. Like, no, you do it because you don't have the money.
exactly.
At the end of the day,
That's
those
all
guys
you
are
gotta
bullshitting.
say. That's all you got to say. You don't have to make up these elaborate lies because what's funny? This is the funny shit, but I've been talking to people about this a lot. PlayStation games, they go to PC. Okay, not Sony's first party, but a lot of the third party games have been going to PC. They go to PC because the PC community makes these petitions. They get on Twitter and they beg the developers directly for a port to a game that they like. Then when a game comes out, they don't buy it day one. Developers depend on day one sales, and they also depend on week one sales and the first month sales. But guess what? The game doesn't sell the first month, or the day, or the first week. So then you have that fucking problem. You brought the game to a community that claimed that they were going to support it, but they don't support it until the following year or until it receives a very, very steep price cut. So I'm pissed off at the PC community for that, wasting developers' time and their money and their resources. And it seems like a lot of other people caught on to it, that people are not buying games on Steam. And Epic took full advantage of what they're doing, and I like it. I'm gonna
No
love
doubt.
Civil War.
And truth be told, I'm a little bit shocked that this hasn't happened sooner because you got Steam out there, you got the Epic Store starting up. There's supposed to be another gaming service called Utopia that's supposed to be starting up. I don't know when it's supposed to start up, but when they do fire up, they're supposed to start up with 600 games at launch. And then you got EA Origins, Ubisoft trying to have their own gaming service, so it's like everybody and their mother is having a game.
Heard
has
about
a gaming
Discord?
service.
Discord has their own gaming service too. They're gonna
Right.
sell
So
on
with so many gaming services to choose from, as a consumer, you're gonna be looking for the one that stands out. With that being said, it's no shock to me that somebody finally made the move that Epic made. I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner.
Fortnite. That's why. Fortnite, because they made so much money off of it.
Mm-hmm.
And they never put it on fucking Steam, by the way. You can't get Fortnite on Steam.
But like he mentioned, EA and Ubisoft never stepped up to them like the way Epic is. Like, this literally just happened a year ago. This should have happened a lot sooner.
Okay, well, we go to the next topic, which is very, very funny. Xbox is hiring a strategic partner manager to get premium third-party content from Japan. Thoughts on that?
Are you guys familiar with this dude? Because I have no idea who he is.
Familiar with who?
They were champagning this guy like he's a veteran legend or something, but I never heard of him. Whoever they hired.
All I'm gonna say, it's gonna be a hard ass time to get any third-party premium content from Japan when your fucking fan base just does not like Japanese games entirely.
Mm-hmm.
They can be Americanized or anything, and they just don't sell as much as the PlayStation. So it's going to be hard to do that at the end of this generation. You need to try to do that maybe maybe they're preparing for next generation, but this generation, you should just give up. I'm surprised we're even hearing about this hire, but I know they want something different for next gen.
I think it's just more BS. He's just going to collect a paycheck and they're going to act like they care. That's just what I think about that.
Phil Spencer came over with what is Dragon Ball Fighter Z, remember that? And then Jump Force. So, yeah, it's Japanese games and they're based off of anime. So, but that's not all Japanese developers make. And what's funny is Dragon Ball Fighter Z clearly sold better on PlayStation, and the new Project Z open world RPG for Dragon Ball Z, that's going to sell better on PlayStation. And when Jump Force comes out, you know, a lot of people might not know it's out there because they're going to be busy with other games, but I guarantee it's going to sell better on PlayStation. They have the marketing rights for that, but it's going to sell better on PlayStation. That's the thing. When game after game after game sells better on PlayStation by huge margins, and you don't see people sharing that shit on Xbox, they don't share pictures, videos, or live stream Japanese games, should you still waste your time? And another question, should Microsoft still waste so much time in Japan when they don't want to have anything to do with Microsoft?
You know, Phil's just over there partying in karaoke bars. He's not doing shit.
Yeah, I was thinking. I mean, you coming back with only one game each year. The year before was Dragon Ball Fighter Z, and then you came over with Jump Force. Is a game a year from Japan. That's not good. That's not good at all.
I'm going to offer 3 angles that's going to make this situation cut and dry. Number one, they don't buy shit over there on the Xbox side. They scream about all the games that they want, but they don't even buy them. Number two, they've called the PlayStation jack crap God knows how many times. I mean, that's always one of their defense mechanisms, is calling the PlayStation jap crap. So what makes you think they're gonna, jump on board with a bunch of Japanese game coming to an American platform? I just don't see it working. And I think the only reason why Phil Spencer is even going down this road, I think it's a PR move. Because when the Xbox were screaming that they were threatening to leave the Xbox if they didn't see something at E3, I think they wanted, they call themselves wanting a couple of Japanese thrown into that mix, but I think it's just a PR move from Microsoft acting like they're reaching out to try to give their gamers a better experience, but to me, it's just response to criticism, because I mean, with them reaching out and buying all these studios right now and shit like that, all this was precipitated by Sony pumping out hit after hit after hit after hit. They were watching all these games go by while they're standing by and don't have shit. And it came to a point where I think gamers were threatening to leave Microsoft before they finally got up off their ass and act like they're doing something.
Yeah, they never do anything unless they really have to. That's just the way they operate. Well,
I agree. And
it just, to me, it's smoke and mirrors to me, because this is the same company. I had described what Sony was doing was like Sony was making a huge Thanksgiving dinner, and but it's going to take a couple years to make this dinner. And the Xbox, led by Phil Spencer, criticized Sony for putting out shit but not giving you a release date. This stuff is coming out 2-3 years from now, but Sony never has a release date. So here, fast forward 2 or 3 years later, now all that delicious food is on the table, and all these people are eating all these delicious ass PlayStation games, and they turn to Phil Spencer and say, wait a minute, what, they eating good over there? Where's our games? No, you don't want that shit. That's single player food. That ain't no good. Here, eat this Super Lucky's Tail burrito. Here, eat this, here, eat this State of Decay, cheeseburger, serving a bunch of bullshit over there. So I think it wasn't until like God of War, because Phil Spencer had them hypnotized for a second. He had them believing that shit. He had them believing that single player games are losing popularity. The people want multiplayer games, woo. But God of War snapped them out of that trance. When God of War came, that's when they snapped out of that trance. It was like, if we don't get some compelling games, we are out of here.
That's a great point. The year before, they got their asses beaten, but why did it take a bald dude with a beard to finally wake them up? I didn't get that. Like
Mm-hmm.
the year before was just fire, bro. So like, why would you wait this long to kind of address something that needed to be addressed a while ago?
So now here's Microsoft telling their people we gonna make a big dinner too. Look, here's the pots and pans. Look at all these developers that we just picked up. There's a bag of flour right there. We gonna go get the TV. We gonna go get the turkey next year. It shouldn't have came to this. It shouldn't have came to people threatening to walk out before they finally said they're gonna get some real food for them. JayTech just said in the comments about Crackdown, and they getting fed more garbage.
What do you think about that meal, Lincoln? Yeah, you got that like what, a week or two?
So look, bro. Let me first say,
Like, this is bullshit.
Outside of the third party, that's not what Microsoft need to worry about. Remember, Bloodborne was from Sony Japanese studios. Remember, Ghost of Tsushima, not from a Japanese studio, but a Japanese game. Both not on Xbox, never coming to Xbox. Their first party game needs to be strong. Simple as that. You keep making contracts for timed exclusivity and DLCs for third party titles, you're still going to look weak because they're still going to come over. Example, Black Desert, right? Japanese MMORPG. Looks cool. It's amazing on PC. It looks beautiful. The fact of the matter is, who's going to play that shit on Xbox? Let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
Who's buying an Xbox for that? After the pattern has shown itself that games like that do end up coming to PlayStation. That means, there's no reason for me to go buy an Xbox or Black Desert. We already know it's coming over. Same shit happened with PUBG. Same shit happened with the Tomb Raider games. They buying these contracts for third-party content, and it's really making them look stupid. Because time and time again, they kept coming over. So no one trusts Phil Spencer anymore, except for the brain-dead Xbox. But we do have to talk about Crackdown because it's very embarrassing. We're going to talk about dreams after Crackdown. We're going to mix them together. But all I'm going to say, bro, what is your thoughts on Crackdown? I watched one video I watched one video yesterday. I didn't watch the multiplayer shit. I didn't watch the building destruction. But what's going on with Crackdown? Help me out.
I had described Crackdown like this. I described Crackdown as that marathon runner that broke their leg in the middle of the race. But they didn't quit. They went in, they finished the race. They came in last place, and people are cheering that they still finished the race. I think the situation with Crackdown 3, with all the delays that this game was going through, people were speculating that the game was going to be canceled. And I was one of them that really thought the game was about to be canceled. But then I came to the conclusion that, they're going to go ahead and release this game and try to cut their losses, and try to get at least some of their money back. So now I think with the Xbox, they are cheering this game, not because they think it's good, but because it finished the race with the broken leg. It showed that grit, that determination, that spirit. The game is straight garbage. It never had a chance of winning this race from the get-go, but they just glad that this game finished the race, that the broken leg runner finished this race, so all the Sony people can stop jumping on their head about this game being possibly canceled. Because Microsoft, what has been the narrative this generation for Microsoft? Either the games have been garbage or they've been canceled.
Bro, you wrap that shit up nice, but we still got trash the game. We still got to talk some shit on it. But
making that game seem like a special needs case.
Look, first of all, when I saw it, I was like, wow, this reminds me of Saints Row 3. But then I was like, wow, Saints Row 3 had a little bit better graphics than that. It had good textures. It had different stuff like chairs and food or whatever. Saints Row 2, a lot of people like, Saints Row 2 is better than Crackdown. Yeah, it's an aged game, but you could go inside of buildings. You could see inside of buildings. You could chill on a couch or the bed, and different attention to details all over the place. Same with Crackdown 3. So both open world games, both sandbox games. One looks worse than the other. The excuse that, it's set in the future. In the future, we don't have tables. In the future, we don't have anything inside of buildings. We just have buildings. That's stupid. That's That's just straight stupid.
Did you see the comparison between the first one and Crackdown 3?
Crackdown 1 is just fucking garbage.
I think what you're going to have with Crackdown 3, I think you're going to have a situation where Microsoft is going to pay people to play this game and act like it's a really fun game, because it was recently revealed that Microsoft was paying Twitch streamers to play Sea of Thieves. So I can see them doing the same thing.
See that, right? But Sea of Thieves had more players as far as multiplayer, the multiplayer section of the game. This, however, I don't know, man, because you got what, 5v5? Like, how much fun can you have with that shit? And like, you're gonna have to shell out a lot of money if this is your strategy, paying people to play games just so other people know that they exist. You got to pay.
They've only confirmed 3 maps at launch and only 2 modes.
To have a problem doing it, you know, because I believe Microsoft has paid YouTubers, Twitch streamers, the media, everything. I believe they paid a number of people to talk up these garbage games that they put out. And then you're going to have this inside Xbox, or inside trash, as I call it. And they're probably going to dedicate the whole show to trying to hype up Crackdown and celebrate that after how many years the game is finally going to be released. And then we know the game is not going to sell. They're going to bury that under all this user engagement shit that they make up. They're going to jump up and brag about how many orbs got collected, how many cars got thrown, and how many buildings, you know, that your agent jumped over once he was powerful enough. They're going to come up with these made up ass user engagement numbers.
Bro, okay. Let's talk about some stuff real quick with Crackdown. I think everybody can agree that even though we know it would have been a bad look, after seeing Crackdown 3, I think we can all agree that it should have been canceled.
How many years do you think they actually spent on developing the game?
Let me tell you a theory before I tell you that. I think it was 2.5, first of all, to answer your question. And I think they restarted development about 2 times. Yeah, I think they restarted development 2 times.
Because they were trying to make it seem like they were, you know, down in the dirt for like 6 years trying to make this masterpiece. Did you see that quote where they said they wanted it next to Halo and Gears? I saw somebody post that on Twitter.
Ooh, who posted that?
I don't know if it was Greenberg or Ibarra, but an executive said they wanted that to be that big of a game in the Xbox AAA lineup.
I think you got Days Gone being closer to a bigger game than fucking Crackdown. Even Dreams. And we'll talk about Dreams in a little bit, but that's a longer segment because I just found some different shit in Dreams that pushes it beyond Crackdown. But Crackdown, I think it should have been canceled. But for a long time now, I think their resources, their energy, their money, their attention should have been focused on their first party. Why do you wait until the end of the generation? Literally, you just told your consumers, oh, yeah, man, we lost. But next time, we might be a little bit better. Because you're doing all of this shit you should have did 3 years ago at the end of the generation to prepare for next gen. You don't care about this generation anymore. If you drop in games like Crackdown, you don't care. Mm-hmm. You know you lost. What I want, I would die before I get it. I want everybody from the Microsoft game division to admit they lost this gen. But they won't do it. They won't give us the sales numbers of how many Xboxes have been sold since 2013. They won't give us the software numbers like games like Sunset Overdrive. They never told us when it sold 1 million or if it even reached that. They know they're losing. They just hope that we don't acknowledge it. So they keep hiding information. And on top of that, you're releasing garbage games. Literally, Microsoft Game Studios, is releasing garbage first-party games. And then you had the bright idea, let's put these games on PC. Let's see if they fall for the trap. They did not fall for the trap. They were never going to fall for the trap because they know you guys suck. That's why we got people making petitions for Death Stranding and fucking Days Gone and Ghost of Tsushima to come to PC, because whatever in all of the games that they've been giving you from an Xbox game division, they're just not enough. Clearly.
Dude, who actually thought this game was going to be good? Let's be honest.
I
Like
did.
the first time they released gameplay, who was actually impressed by this trash?
I did. I believed it.
You believe it?
I'm just fucking with you.
It's because they had auto aim, probably, but
Okay,
dude, the game.
I'm gonna go as far as to say. Sorry for cutting you off. I'm gonna say go as far as to say they should have did a remaster of Crackdown 1, and they would have made a better impact on the franchise. You gotta let people know how good it was.
Yeah, I really think there was a period. I think there was probably a couple of times where Microsoft was about to throw in the towel on this game. But I think two things. I think one of them is that they probably came to the conclusion that, okay, let's go ahead and finish this game and get back what money we can. They're not going to get it back through sales, but they'll probably get some of that money back through a few Game Pass subscriptions, because the subscriptions will probably go up long enough for them to check that game out, and then they'll cancel the subscriptions. I think the other reason why they went ahead and followed through with finishing this game is because by the I think that they didn't want to further, mess up their reputation for closing down studios and canceling games. So I think that was part of it, was just to save face, just to keep their reputation from going all the way in the tank.
I
mean, people was furious about Scale Down being canceled, about Lionhead Studios being closed. I mean, it seemed like when it came to that kind of stuff, the only people worse than them when it comes to closing studios is EA.
That is very true, but Microsoft, my theory is they had a lot of games that they could have just stuck behind, right? They had a lot of games that they should have just finished, but this one was the last on the docket, and they were like, well, we don't want to cancel this one because we've already canceled all these other games, and the fans' faith is wavering. PlayStation's kicking our ass with all these exclusives they keep releasing. So, well, guess we have no choice. This was one of the ones that we showed next to games like Scalebound, next to games like Project Spark, or a game like Fable. But they were like, well, all of those games got canceled. We can't afford to cancel another one. Then people will know we are fucking jokes.
What game made it from that dumb banner they had when they were talking about the best lineup in Xbox history? I don't think any of the games, right?
Not to mention, don't forget that Microsoft.
Not really.
Don't forget that Microsoft also touted Crackdown 3 as one of the reasons that people should buy an Xbox One X, because this game was supposed to launch day and date alongside the Xbox One X. But we had that cancellation where it was supposed to get canceled until the spring of 2018, something like that. I mean, these cancellations been going on for about a year and a half, haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
Seems about right, yeah.
So when the Xbox One X launched, your beautiful 4K games that you had was Forza Motorsport 7 and Super Lucky's trash.
He said Super Lucky's trash. Oh, that's a good one. I like that one.
Yeah, when that game was, they had people fool thinking that was a first party game. That was basically a VR game rebooted. It was really half-assed.
And I didn't learn that until months later, because I really thought that it was the way Microsoft marketed that game. I really thought it was a Microsoft first party game. Now, keep in mind that E3 2017, when they introduced the Xbox One X, if you remember the E3 that they had, other than Forza Motorsport 7, their E3 was comprised of mostly indie games. And I'm like, are you kidding me? This is supposed to be the reason why we're supposed to be buying the Xbox One X. And then the crazy part about that, a lot of those games that we saw from E3 17 has not materialized yet.
Yeah, you're right about that. Ashen came out, and I don't think it was like horrible bad, but nobody really gave a fuck about it.
Yeah, the one that was bad was Below, I think.
No, I'm not saying Ashen was bad. I just think that it wasn't their cup of tea, and I don't know if they should have paid that developer that much money to keep it exclusive.
They never marketed the game, though. They just released it on Game Pass, and that was it.
Exactly, and this is the shit, bro. Like, if your focus is on Game Pass in such a lazy way that you don't even advertise the shit that's going there, bro, I don't know, man. It's just, it puts a bad taste in my mouth, and it's sad the gamers are still supporting Microsoft when they're not showing any effort and rewarding us when we spend this money. When we're spending $60 on a game, $40 on a game, we expect good quality. It's 2019. It's the current generation. You should be giving us some good shit. Look at us. Look at us over here. We're waiting for The Last of Us 2. We know it's going to be golden. We're waiting for Ghost of Tsushima. We know it's going to be golden. We're waiting for Dreams. We're waiting for Days Gone. We know how golden it's going to be. Or Death Stranding. We're talking besides the visuals of these mini games I've named, we already know how amazing the gameplay is going to be. And no, we don't work for Sony, but we know that shit's going to sell 1 million in a first week, at least. That's the thing. Microsoft really need to get their head out of their ass. We understand that they understand that their fan base is dumbasses, but they got to try better. They got to do more, really. Because the effort you put out right now is the effort we're going to remember next year when the next generation starts. And no one is going to...
They were able to fool them about Super Lucky Style, at least. So that worked.
They did. And that's weird, bro, because you know the time is about to come soon when they say that this game is going to switch. And all hell's going to break loose, because once they do that shit, you can't take that back, man. You're going down a path, just like when you put your games on PC that you just can't come back from.
And I think for 2019, this year, they're supposed to, Microsoft is supposed to come out with Gears of War 5, and I guess this Ori Will-O-the-Wisp, to me, which looks like some indie shit. Other than that, what Microsoft exclusive is supposed to be coming out in 2019?
I think you got Battletoads, right? If I'm not mistaken, unless they push that back.
I don't know that it was supposed to get released in 2019 or not. All I know is all I saw was the cover art for it. Whatever that was.
Yeah, that's not good, bro. That's not good. They need that.
And they're outsourcing it. They're not handling that internally. So I don't know if there's any hope for that title, even if it does release this year, to be honest. But Gears 5 looks decent, man. I'm going to give that a shot.
What? We do know that Halo Infinite is coming to Dave & Buster's. We do know that Gears Pop is coming to mobile. We do know that Gears Tactics is coming to PC, as it is a strategy game. Right there, I named off more shit that's going to other platforms in the console.
Yeah, I mean, Gears is going to be good, but like Sam said, he can get that shit on PC. Literally, he can get that on PC.
You don't got to pay for Xbox Live either.
Yeah. It's pretty fucking sad. So I guess we can segue over to a game that took almost as long as Crackdown, but got more gameplay, got a better reaction, and that's streams. I've been talking about it for the whole week. I've been amazed by it. That's why I can't shut up about it. But I saw physics today from a first-person shooter. He had a whole bunch of these mini blocks stacked up to make a big cube, and once you shot the rocket launcher at it, the blocks fell different ways. They showed true physics. And that just gives me hope that they can make destructible environments, because we already know, if you put your mind to it, and dreams, you definitely can. But I just wanted to show you this three-dimensional city. And of course, Dreams has photo mode. It is photo mode. So you can go in between the cities. You see helicopter pads on some of the buildings. You can go deep down into the ground and everything. And of course, this is all beta. Somebody made this pretty quick. You know, at any time, you can go and remix somebody else's level. And that's what I like. If they put the remix button on there, you can remix anybody. But making characters better, making levels better. Someone's going to make a joke, or they're going to make something real, and they're going to make an open world city, and they're going to have a character model, and a character model is going to be walking through this fucking city, and it's going to look better than Crackdown. That's all I'm saying. And it will. It's going to fucking happen. There's realistic looking levels, like the PT level they made on Dreams. It looks more detailed than Crackdown.
That's already been a big joke today or so, for the past day or so, that there's better looking stuff in Dreams than Crackdown.
Exactly. I wanted to show you that it seems like people are about to make Conquer in Dreams. So when Dreams comes out, because the beta ends tomorrow, so when Dreams comes out, it looks like somebody's already worked on a realistic looking Conquer model. and they already did this with Super Mario, and I showed you Bowser. They make a Conquer game before Microsoft does, that's gonna be embarrassing. Because remember, they own Rare. They own Rare. They can do a lot of shit, man. Microsoft's slacking. Even on the developers that they fucking own, they are slacking. They just don't care, man.
Mm-mm. And for those who've been white knighting for Microsoft and all these studios that they've bought, I said it before. I feel like these were bootleg studios that were brought in to make bootleg games to fill up the Game Pass library. Because a lot of these studio acquisitions that Microsoft made, they caught these people in vulnerable positions. They were either on the verge of bankruptcy or they hadn't put out anything in quite a while. So Microsoft probably bought them at a crackhead price. You know, Microsoft probably bought these studios for pennies on the dollar. And with Microsoft supposedly having a goal to reach 2 billion gamers, it is impossible to do that in the console space. They would have to be super aggressive in the mobile space to even, in my opinion, to even hit 1 billion. They would have to be very aggressive in the mobile space. With that being said, these studio acquisitions that they picked up, don't be surprised if half of the workload that they are working on is going to be dedicated to mobile games. I think that Microsoft, with these studio acquisitions, with the creation of the initiative, along with the other regurgitated shit that they keep throwing at us, I think Microsoft's only intentions is to throw people enough console games to keep them invested into the ecosystem. I think they have no intentions whatsoever to try to match Sony in terms of quality and quantity.
Hey, man. You're like applauding or some shit, dude.
Yeah, I wish we had that button where we could just have the automatic applause because you're just ripping them up. But
bro, yeah, they've eaten it up this long. Why not just keep doing it, man? They made what, 10 billion last year? They're just gonna keep running this scam and just keep doing it over and over. He's completely right about that.
You know, and you know, and I think Microsoft's brass, I think they spend too much time messing around on Twitter. You know, Sony, they going to work right now. They building games right now as we speak. You know, Microsoft staff is messing around on Twitter talking about, dropping little breadcrumbs about picking up more studios or whatever. Just
yeah, they hyping up their Xbox, their Inside Xbox for Tuesday, which we got to talk about now. But I wanted to get to something. They're hyping it up. They're saying they're going to bring back a game that everybody's been wanting to see. I don't think I've heard Xbox fans say anything about new games. I know they already know that the old shit's coming. They talked about Gears. They talked about Halo Infinite. And they talked about Forza. Those are the 3 games that they really know can get some sales. But sadly, Gears seems to be coming out towards the back end of this year. And I don't know if that's going to help Microsoft's situation. No, you can't beat PlayStation this year. You can't beat them to 100 million. That's not going to happen. But you could put a better reputation on the way history's gonna look at you. Right now, history ain't gonna look kind on you, man. It really ain't. What I wanted to say outside of that, a boy, Kid Smooth, and I quote, he said it looks better than what was the game? Yakuza 6? Yakuza.
Dude, he put Yakuza 6, Gravity Rush.
Yeah, he said Crackdown 3 looks better than Yakuza. I want to get the right quote. So
you know what? I'm not gonna I'm not even gonna say. I mean, I want to say he's smoking crack, but I ain't gonna say it because one time I was watching Next Gen's 720. Zaire was having a debate. It was him and Kingsblood were debating with Kid Smooth, and Zaire was hollering about how Sony has adult content. Profanity, blood, gore, and stuff like that. And, he was talking about how you got Disney Zoo Tycoon over here on the Xbox side, this kitty shit, this romper room shit. And Kid Smooth said that Sea of Thieves is an adult game.
Motherfuckers can make Sea of Thieves in dreams, so he can shut the fuck up.
When he said that, I was like, he said they have adult content, dreams, not dreams. He said Sea of Thieves was an adult game. I was like, man, I shut the stream off right there, and he was adamant about it. He was getting loud and screaming and everything.
Wow, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know, just a quick question: is it for entertainment, or is he really believing the shit he's saying?
I initially thought he was acting, but I just think he's stupid and he's like the Stockholm syndrome dude with that system, man.
You know, Microsoft, you know, Sony has put their foot up Microsoft ass for the last 3 or 4 years. But yet you continue to make these videos in these streams trying to sell people that that they have the best games. That's just insane. You know, but whenever he not, you know, fighting about games, he's still crying that, you know, that they have the best features. Features don't make a console, games do.
Okay. Thanks for taking over, because I was trying to find this quote. I said when Crackdown 3 gets a 69 or lower on Metacritic, will your hype die down? Because his recent statement was if PS5 gets proper backwards compatibility, I wonder if the whole I don't want to play old games narrative will die down. So, you know, he has hype for Crackdown, so that's what I said. But on top of that, I made sure I had a picture of PlayStation Now. As you know, PlayStation Now isn't exactly like Game Pass. It receives older games, even from this generation. They won't get God of War the same day that it released. That's not how it is. So if you have PlayStation Now, what are you doing? You're playing older games. For it to have earned more money than Game Pass, which is made up of majority of older games, that means that he can't use that fucking statement next gen, because people were playing PlayStation Now, which is comprised of PS2 titles, PS3 titles, older PS4 titles, and I think some PlayStation 1 classics. So, dumbass. But this is what he says. Did my hype die down for Rise, Recore, Knack, or Knack 2? I don't think it will. So, I'm trying to figure out what the fuck was he, what is he smoking right there? What is he smoking? But that wasn't the fucking comment, because I got distracted. It was the idiot right here. Oh no. Hold on. It was let me see. Shit, it was 2. Here we go. Sorry. This guy said looks like human fall flat, gang beast quality. Try harder, ridiculous fanboy. So of course, yeah. It says like when people look at dreams, certain things in dreams, they're gonna look at it like, oh man, that's ugly, that's stupid. I see stuff right now. I see a fucking cone with eyes, skinny arms, and skinny legs. It's not realistic, right? But you can create whatever you want. You can make that a human if you want. You can make it a dinosaur if you want. It can be realistic. It can look cartoony. It is what it is. But the fact of the matter is, when you think of it that way, that's unlimited amount of content. Once you buy that $60 game, you have unlimited content at your fingertips, because everybody else is gonna create shit. But as far as him talking about hype, I think he should really lower his expectations for Crackdown, because Microsoft got a lot of money. If they want to pay people to give good reviews to Crackdown, they are going to look stupid, because we all know how bad the game is. Another thing, where's the beta? The game's like 2 weeks away, and they have not announced the beta. Dreams
They don't want you to play that shit.
That's a very good point.
Dreams, it doesn't even have a release date, and they gave us a beta. Dreams does not have a release date at all. The release
window. Anybody playing that trash?
Yeah, they don't want anybody to play that fucking shit, bro.
Yeah, and even with Anthem, even though that there's some dumb shit with this staggered schedule, they still gave you a beta, no less. Because I did take a look at it last night.
If you guys are hyped for Crackdown, that's cool. If you gotta buy it, that's cool. Post some fucking gameplay. I want to enjoy the garbage that you post. Other than that, if you're gonna buy the game and then see that it's shit without posting anything, you're not helping the problem. You need to show people how bad Microsoft games are.
I truly think the only people that are going to show gameplay of Crackdown as far as YouTube goes are probably going to be YouTubers with thousands of subs that Microsoft probably influenced them to show it. Because an average everyday Joe like me, I don't have the equipment and the means to stream any Microsoft content onto YouTube. I would have to use Mixer. So I think on Mixer, you're going to see a bunch of Crackdown shit on Mixer, but I think the only way you're going to see it on YouTube is somebody that, has the means to do it. Because I just don't see somebody with 20,000 subs going out of their way to show Crackdown 3 on YouTube unless Microsoft approaches them and throws them a couple of bucks to show it. I just don't see it.
I'm sorry. I apologize, everybody. My brain is not working right. I got a lot of shit on my mind. I covered the wrong tweet. I'm sorry, Lincoln. I covered the wrong tweet. There was a quote from Kid Smooth where he was comparing Crackdown 3. He said, Crackdown 3 looks like a 360 game, ? And then he said, Fortnite, Breath of the Wild, Persona, Yakuza, the Santee game that Jack Move plays, what is it? Celeste or whatever that Celeste, and then The Last Guardian must look like PS5 Pro games. So he thinks that Crackdown 3 can be comparable to these. I take Yakuza out and I take The Last Guardian out. Those two visually, they shit on this game. So I just wanted y'all to know that I apologize. I was looking for the tweet and I thought it was in that thread, but it wasn't in that thread. It was what he posted yesterday. So Yakuza is a way better looking game than Crackdown. I'm sorry.
And Fortnite is not a PlayStation exclusive, so I don't know how that got thrown in there.
I just think he's talking about the look of the game, and he's saying that other games look either equal to or worse than it. But I'm sorry.
That's the thing, though.
But his response led me to believe that he was trying to go on the attack against PlayStation because he got butthurt about the criticism that Crackdown is taking. So it led me to believe that he responded by trying to attack Sony. So if that response was aimed at PlayStation games, I don't know how Fortnite got thrown into that mix.
Or Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like on Yakuza, at least part 6, you can go into like this 7-Eleven in Tokyo or in Japan, and you can destroy property inside of the store. You can fuck up the racks and all of that shit. You see attention to detail everywhere. You have a first-person view, so you're allowed to look at more detail. I saw the destruction in Crackdown. There was nothing in the buildings. Defend that, please. If you have an Xbox, defend
he doesn't know what he's looking at.
Also in the roundtable, we talked about the destruction on Crackdown 3, and we noticed how a lot of the debris has perfect shapes. Circles, squares, and triangles and stuff. There's not any abnormal shapes from the debris.
Look,
so they already have it basically like how it's going to crumble already pre-structured. That's really, really lazy, dude.
Yeah.
But this is also the same company with Forza Motorsport 7. They couldn't even do something as simple as put a pit crew in there. When the car pulls into the pit on Forza Motorsport 7, the car will pull into the pit. There is no pit crew that you can see. The car just pulls into an empty lot, and you hear impact guns and wrenches and everything going off, and then the car drives off. No pit crew whatsoever. Whereas GT Sport on the PlayStation, when you pull into a pit, you see a full crew standing there with gas tanks and holding tires, waiting for you to come in. And when you come in, they change your tires, they fuel the car, and then you control all of that by deciding what kind of tires you want put on the car and how much fuel you want them to put into the car. Once you hit that stop button, like, okay, that's enough fuel, then the guy lifts up the sign and moves out of the way, and you drive out of the pit. They couldn't even do that in Forza Motorsport 7. All you had was a car pulling into an empty parking lot. And then you drive off.
Bro.
You see no crew.
All I'm going to say, if they have more Xbox fans like Kids Move. I hope that I can find them before next gen, because it's funny that someone is defending this system and this shitty game so much. He better beat the game. He better play it day one. He better get the most limited edition that they have possible, which I've saw that Best Buy is giving you a steel book for Crackdown, and they know how bad the game's gonna sell, so they're not even charging you $10 extra. It's $60 for a Crackdown steelbook game launch because they know how bad it is. Everyone knows how bad it is. The promotion at GameStop is some stinky ass socks. Come on, man. I can't wait to see a live stream from Kids Move of him enjoying Crackdown 3. I don't want to see him drunk. I don't want to see him high. I want to see him. I want to see him play the game. If he falls asleep, that just proves my point that the game is boring. But I want to see him, let's say, in the middle of the day. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Middle of the day, on his day off from work. Not drinking, not smoking. Just play the game and let us see if you really enjoy it. Let's see if the hype that you showed us on Twitter, if it really is true. Because I think it's bullshit. I think it's truly bullshit. I don't think he's going to enjoy that game.
No, he's definitely champagning, man. He might as well apply for a job at Microsoft at this point and get paid for it.
That's what I'm saying, man. Maybe Microsoft is paying him. Who knows?
Very well could be, because I definitely believe they're paying Crap Gamer and Cold Eastwood.
Oh, crap fucking.
Yeah, definitely Cold Eastwood. You're right about that.
Don't get me started on him, man. Don't get me started.
Doesn't Crap Gamer make like 6 figures off YouTube?
I'm hearing that Colt Eastwood don't even, that I heard that he's a PC guy.
Really? That's interesting. Speaking of PC guy, don't we have an Xbox executive that's always hyping up PC, Sam? Mike Ybarra? Mike Ybarra works for the Xbox game division, and he just continues to talk about the PC on Twitter. He's not doing a good job of promoting his console that he's.
It's like Lincoln said before. Why do these dudes always chirp on Twitter? Just shut up. We don't need like 6 different people.
Yeah, man, Aaron Green Slob. They both need to shut the fuck up.
But they got like 5 guys saying the same exact thing. We just need one of you, if anything. Like, what's the difference? Like, sometimes I can't even differentiate. If it wasn't for this idiot war in the sock, I would have just assumed it was Ibarra saying that.
Mm-hmm.
How many copies do you think they're actually gonna I guess ship the stores of stock? Talk about physical versions of Crackdown 3.
500,000 worldwide, every region.
Yeah.
500,000 in total worldwide.
I wouldn't doubt it. I think they're gonna have a minimum amount of physical copies that they're gonna ship out, and then after that, it's gonna be on an as-needed basis. So I wouldn't be surprised if, like Jay said, half a million. Myself, I was gonna be super stingy and say $250,000, half of that.
Yeah. I will go with you, bro.
And then after that, they only manufacture them on an as-needed basis after that.
Let me put it this way, bro. They go into digital, right? We know they're going more digital than Sony. How about all their games, because they are trash and they know it too, just make them digital-only titles. I mean, just cut out the middleman and save as much money as you can. Just make them digital, because they're not making money anyway.
They want to do that.
Yeah. I know they want to do that.
And that's my reason why I think that if they, with physical copies, that's part of the reason why I think they could go as low as 250,000 copies to ship out to, because shit, what, they print out 2 million of them damn physical copies, and the game might not even do that. That's going to be a bunch of games sitting on the shelf that they're going to end up having to pull an EA and sell that shit for half price to get them off the shelf.
It's about to be crazy, man. This is sad because, okay, we're going to go to some factual shit real quick, guys. So look at the screen. We talked about this the following weekend, right, Lincoln? About the price of Crackdown? This ain't gonna be good right here. If I go to this page and this shit says $60, I don't know how they gonna sell this to anybody. Let's see. I can't find a price.
I'm sure they got an Amazon listing for it.
I don't have it. Yeah, I think I'm about to go check Amazon. They still don't have the release date. This is their fault, though. See, we know it's coming out the 15th of February, and they made sure they gave that information out, but they don't have it on their Windows Store game page.
They don't have a price there?
They don't have a price or release date. This is a type of.
It's still a possibility that I think they could possibly set the price of this game for $40. Because keep in mind, they started out trying to say that State of Decay 2 was a AAA game, and they were going to start out selling this game for $60. But then I think after one of the developers, after he opened his mouth and said that the game was going to be 60 frames per second, 4K, and all that kind of shit, he ended up having to backtrack. And right after he backtracked, then it was, revealed that the game was being sold for $30.
I'm scrolling through the best sellers. I see a lot of Kingdom Hearts and PlayStations.
Yeah, that's why they acquired him. He's already part of the Microsoft corporate culture.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Crackdown. Okay, let me go see what okay, Crackdown on Amazon, it's got it for $60.
Shit.
Yep.
You
February
cannot
15th.
sell that game for $60.
Shit.
There's no way.
Look at those fucking graphics.
Shit.
Look at that.
I said that in my podcast earlier, that I swear to God, the graphics on this Crackdown is just barely better than State of Decay 2.
Okay, so you see this, Lincoln? Everybody's looking at the screen, right? I'm telling you, this is what stupid ass Kids Move said. He says Crackdown 3 can be comparable to Yakuza. I wanted to show off. This is another exclusive by the Yakuza team using a Yakuza engine, and it's called Judgment. I think we all heard about this. I'm just saying, bro. Modern day city. When you smash somebody's head onto the concrete, you see the crater, and I'm just saying it's just detail. And he said that Crackdown is better than Yakuza, and it's better. I'm just trying to say, what's going on with Kids Move, man? Did he see Yakuza? Does he see the animations that the Yakuza engine is presenting for 2019? This is a 2019 title. He's jumping off the wall and doing better combat than you could ever see in Crackdown.
Oh my God.
Sorry, bro. Well, I guess we can end it. Let me see because I wanted to ask everybody a question about Crackdown, but let's see if we have any more pressing topics. Blah blah blah. Okay, we PS5 development kits. I want to talk about that next weekend. We'll move that PS5 rumors. We'll move that to next week. And we talked about backwards compatibility. I think the PS5 rumors and PS5 development kits be next week. We have to talk about one important thing, and then we gotta before that we'll talk about what you think. Metacritic predictions for Crackdown 3. Everybody in the comment sections put down a number for Metacritic predictions. I'm going with a 54. Sam, you?
Damn, 54. I'm gonna go 50.
Lincoln?
I'm gonna go 58 because I think Microsoft is gonna influence some of the critics.
That's true. You get those Xbox websites that'll give it a 9 or a 10. I've seen them do that. 56, 69. Yeah, man. If it gets a 69, dude, that'd be so weird. It's like the third straight game to get a 69.
Mm-hmm. Myself, personally, I think the game would get a 48 from me. But again,
Bro, I think
that because Microsoft really, even with Microsoft influencing some of the media, it still doesn't really help that much in terms of the Metacritic scores. They still get terrible Metacritic scores, but I think some of these critics, cut them a little bit of slack because they don't want to seem like a person that's constantly bombarding Microsoft with bad Metacritic scores. So I think a couple of them, will give Crackdown a little bit better score than it deserves.
So you think it can hit a 69, which is almost a 70? You think it can hit that?
I don't think so, but I still think it can hit a 65.
Okay. Okay, 65. I got 54. Sam, what was your score again?
I said 50. You know what? Let me change. I'm gonna go to 45.
45.
All right,
so
45.
So this, I'm sorry, I can't give a straight answer to this. Me, I would give it a 48. I think
48.
in actuality, I think it's going to get about a 58 or 59. But I'm saying that I think if Microsoft influences some of the critics, along with a couple of the critics feeling sorry for Microsoft, that could bump the score up to a 63, 64, 65.
Okay.
Because I don't think it's going to be as bad as the new Fallout. So I'm at least trying to think of it in somewhat of a positive way.
Oh yeah, it's not a okay. So
Or the quiet man.
We got so much shit to really talk about on this, so I wanted to just do a little test. So the test is we're gonna go to Metacritic and go check out the scores from 1 and 2, and then we can maybe see where it's gonna be at. Okay, so
yeah, 1 was good.
Crackdown 1 was good, 83 on Metacritic, and Crackdown 2 is 70. So Crackdown 3 is definitely going to be lower, and I mean, Crackdown 2 is almost a 69. That's a 70.
Yeah, they chose a different team for that for whatever reason. That wasn't made by the dudes who did the first one.
And then they did it again, or 3, because they
just kept outsourcing.
I don't think that's a good idea, man. They just never showed this series respect like I thought they should. After playing 1, even the demo I used to play on a 360, that game deserved so much respect. It has so much potential, and they just if you get Crackdown 1, you can get into the the multiplayer beta for Halo 3. Yeah. Like, so much disrespect, man. This was your new IP. This was your exclusive. And you treated it like that. Fucking, okay, well, I mean, anywhere between a 50 and a 69 at this point. So, looking at history.
I just think this weight and all this, they need a game anyway. They desperately need a blockbuster hit. This just isn't going to bode well.
So, do we have a release date for Gears? Because that's their saving grace. They pushing that back, bro. It's too crowded.
Yeah, I think they definitely going to keep. Myself, I would be led to believe that the game is finished. I think they're probably just going to keep an eye on other third-party developers as well as Sony to make sure that they can release this game in a window at a time when nothing else is out there.
That's a scary thought, though, because we're hearing rumors, not a confirmation. Ghost of Tsushima or The Last of Us 2 could come out this year. We don't know which one will. And then we also hearing rumors that Death Stranding is still coming out, but then we're hearing stuff that he wants more time. So I don't fucking know. But then the biggest rumor we were supposed to talk about was it seems like all their first-party studios, Sony's first-party studios, they're focusing on PS5. So it's going to be crazy.
If I had to make a guess, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Gears of War 5 is probably going to release around November, maybe, to attract the Black Friday crowd and try to get ready for the Christmas crowd, and maybe even do a Gears of War 5 limited edition Xbox. I could see something like that happening.
Okay, that
works for me, man. I want to pick one up to get Gears, so that would work out nice.
That would work out. Okay, well, we'll talk about Crackdown and Quantic Dream together because there's an advertisement for a multi-platform game that comes out the same day as Crackdown. Metro Exodus advertisement is playing on IGN, and it's only showing the Xbox version of the game. And yeah, that's fucked up, bro. I'm supposed to see Crackdown. Your focus should be Crackdown, not a multi-plat on the same day. Your advertisement should be Crackdown only, no matter how bad it is. Bullshit. Quantic Dream is teaming up with NetEase Games, and they're going multi-platform. That means PlayStation will no longer get any more exclusive projects from Quantic Dreams. Thoughts on that?
You think so? I mean, I feel like they could still do a deal if they felt like it.
In the middle of next gen, they're definitely going to do it, because if they try to sell their games to the PC market, still being so young, and to Xbox fan base, I don't see them doing so well. Look at Final Fantasy 15. Look what happened with that. Still did way better on PlayStation than anywhere else. So it's going to take a long time to break into those demographics, into that fan base. And if they don't like what they're getting, they're not going to buy the game. But we had a lot of Xbox fans shitting on Detroit and Heavy Rain last gen, saying that that's not their cup of tea and it's a movie. And hey, if you're trashing the game, the same type of games you're still going to get when they go multi-plat, I don't expect you to buy them either.
But keep in mind, they did trash Hellblade, calling it a walking simulator. That is until it came to the Xbox. They did try to trash No Man's Sky until it came to the Xbox. Then all of a sudden they were great games.
True.
But in the case of Quantic Dreams, I think ultimately they're going to end up going back to Sony. I think it all depends. I think it all depends on this Chinese company that they teamed up with. This Chinese company gives them the freedom to work on multiple projects. Then I wouldn't be surprised if they start working on something for Sony in the next couple of years. But if this Chinese company kind of has control over what they do, then they probably won't come back to Sony until the contract is up with the Chinese company. But I do think it's not a matter of if, but when they come back to Sony.
Yeah, I feel like they're definitely going to work together. But that money was just, was it strictly for mobile or just multi-plats in general? Just on anything? I'm not sure if it says in the article, but
no, they can still do an exclusive
deal whenever they want, man.
Yeah, they can do an exclusive deal whenever they want. They're still going to put games on PlayStation. Yeah, they're still going to put games on PlayStation, so we're good with that. But they are going multi-plat to see if they have a market. And like I said, I don't expect, and I'm not wishing ill will to anyone like Insomniac. I know they're going to make some great games out there as a multi-platform developer, because Insomniac made Sunset Overdrive, which was amazing. It just was on the wrong platform. I just hope they don't do that. So don't do that. Don't put your game on the wrong platform exclusively and expect a big return when they don't know you like that. Yeah.
Because if they go off and do some exclusive shit, then in my opinion, they might as well stay under the PlayStation umbrella.
Yeah, if they didn't give them that money up front, I'm pretty sure they would just still be independent, just doing what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're turn down like $100 million.
Then that's enough money for another developer, and that's what we have to worry about. Who else is going to get that money? Who else? But we have some of the classic teams making 3 different projects. So that's amazing. Naughty Dog and Guerrilla Games and, Sucker Punch, they're making more than just one game now. And then they have this new studio Sam told us about a couple of weeks ago that they're hiring all these different people. Somebody from Red did. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens next gen with studios. But this happens all the time. Look at what happened with Bungie. They split ways with Activision right before next gen. I mean, come on. This type of stuff happens all the time. I'm not that surprised by it.
I'm not surprised by the split. I'm surprised that Activision is letting Bungie take Destiny with them.
Yeah, that is crazy. And then they already have a backer, from what I heard, a Chinese game person. Sam?
Yeah, they got funding.
Yeah, they got funding.
I don't know if it was Tencent or somebody else, but I think it was Tencent.
Oh, excuse me. There, I was coughing my brains out for a second. Yeah, they, same thing with a Chinese company. They got a contract with a Chinese company, but,
wow, it is 4 o'clock. 4:44. So we're gonna call it quits so everybody can get ready for the Super Bowl. But it looked like we got to all our topics. We are gonna talk more about PS5 inside Xboxes this Tuesday. We're gonna have that to talk about and what other crazy shit happens this week. But I am expecting a release date for Dreams since the beta ends tomorrow. The beta ends on Monday. Monday is the beginning of the week. With that pattern seeing, I can really see with the reception Dreams got, the creations people put out there, I can see a release date popping up now. They have a more 100%. They really know what's going on now. They know that people care about the game. They know people are going to buy the game. I think that was a scary thing. And
they were definitely pleasantly surprised, man, by that reaction.
Yeah, and as always, it's always hard. This 2019 is a hard year to place a game. There's so many games in there because there's just the end of the generation. So when you got delicate new IPs like Dreams and Ghost of Tsushima and Judgment, you have to place those in some good months that's not crowded. So hopefully they can find a nice month for Dreams so it can prosper.
I think they will, and I think Dreams is going to do well because from my standpoint, it's going to give me an opportunity to play tons of games and only have to buy the game once. And then
there you go.
I absolutely cannot wait to see what kind of VR games is going to be on there. If people are going to be able to create VR games, that's my biggest reason for wanting Dreams, because my channel is, you know, basically a VR channel other than the podcast that I do.
It's gonna be crazy, man. Well, everybody, you want to do your outros before I end?
Sure. I'll take off. Yo, what's good? What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Lincoln Clay. I call myself the godfather of gaming, the ageless wonder, because you ain't gonna see too many dudes 51 years old that look like me. So anyway, you know, but I want to give a shout out to JayTech for having me on the PlayStation Legion. I definitely appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to coming back again. So give me a shout again, man. I definitely want to come back.
No problem. Sam?
Oh yeah, Lincoln, thanks for coming by this week, man. Honestly, I'm not rooting for anybody in the Super Bowl. I'm just going to get messed up, have a good time. So Brady wins. That's awesome. LA wins. Brady fans are mad. I'm happy either way. But yeah, guys, tune into this channel if you want some VR content. Got a chance. You got motion sickness. Pick up a PSVR in general because it's freaking awesome. It really is. It's not a gimmick. It's the real deal. At some point, it's going to become mainstream. You're all going to be left out. So I'm out. Take it easy. Have a good one.
Okay, and as you know, this is JayTechTV, the Flame of PlayStation. I will be on Dreams all day. I will do a live stream on Twitch for anybody that still wants to see it. The beta ends tomorrow, but I'm heading out to the doctors in the early morning, so I might not have enough time. I will be capturing a lot of videos and a lot of pictures so I can continue the discussion of this great game even after the beta. So thank you guys for watching. I see it was a lot of you today. If you can't contact me on YouTube for any reason, I have a Twitter, JayTechTV, and my PSN information is public as well. So thank you guys. I'm about to go watch the game and play some Dreams. I will see you guys later.
Yeah, have a good one. Catch y'all later.